It's bright today.
Hey guys, happy Friday. Today is Friday, November 2nd. I'm going to try to say this right. Today is, you're going to correct me, Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead, and I'm sure I messed that up a lot.
You sounded good.
So I am with my friend Jeff Reyes. Jeff has agreed to come on the show on the Day of the Dead. Who could miss this purple jacket? Anyway, let us know you can hear us or see us. Give us a thumbs up, those of you who are on. Juan Santana, what's up, Juan? I'll see you soon. I'll see you hopefully this weekend at NAHREP. But let us know. Give us a heart, a thumbs up. Okay, we're getting all sorts of hearts so people can hear us. So today is the Day of the Dead. Isn't Patricia awesome? She's amazing. Aren't you on vacation, Patricia?
Yes.
I know, I saw it all everywhere. Hey, Lisa, thank you. What's up, Mrs. Kennedy? So welcome, my friend. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you for
I'm
having
super
me.
excited.
Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about Jeff. So Jeff and I met, I think we met through NAHREP or maybe before. I've known of you for a long time.
I travel in the same similar circles.
We travel in the same circles. So tell us a little bit about, we love you too, Patricia. A little bit about Jeff Reyes, where you're from, a little bit of your background.
All right. Well, I born and raised in New York, born in Manhattan. Decided to grow up in Staten Island for my freedom folks up in Staten Island. So did that for about 18 years, and then bounced. I jumped ship, and I decided to join the Coast Guard when I was 18.
Thank you for your service. Amazing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And then from there, most of my family stayed in the Bronx and in Brooklyn and Jersey. So I traveled the world. I got to see a lot of different things. I ended up all kinds of places: Virginia, the Keys,
Why
Miami.
the Coast Guard? What was your choice? Did you have so many choices, right, for the military?
Don't
was it
laugh.
just the
True story. The recruiters were all out to lunch when I went down to Manhattan to go sign up, and the only guy that was eating lunch at his desk was the Coast Guard guy. So
it was the right time.
he says, "Hey kid, you want to talk to me?" I said, "Sure." So I kept him company, and the next thing you know, I was on a bus to Cape May. So it was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and are you still reserve? Are you still part? You're done, right? You're finished. How many years did you serve?
I served 20 years total. Wow. I retired when I was 38 in 2005. And then that's when I got my real estate license. And then I worked for Remax for a little bit. And then I came back in. They offered me a position doing real property accountability. So now I work for DHS as a federal real property specialist. So I've been doing that for another 10 years. So in total, military and federal service, I got about 29 and a half years total.
So you are a civilian,
Federal civilian.
a contract.
No,
for the government.
Actual federal civilian employee. I get in 6 months. I'm eligible for retirement a second time. So
nice.
I'll be ready to pull that plug. That's
you
why
work a lot.
Yes,
I know you work a lot.
Yes, and then I decided to stay in Florida. I was in Florida for 20 years. I retired in Homestead, Florida. I was the maritime security chief down there. We had all of our missions were escorting and providing security for presidential details, cruise ships, maritime port security. And then I said, I'm done. I want to go do real estate.
Why? Why did you want to go do real estate? Hey, Mr. Sanchez, what's up, brother?
Julio, real estate to me was, I love people, and I just love being around people. And one of the things that allured me to it was the fact that you can, coming from a humanitarian service, I still wanted to go back and help people. So I love that, and people trusted me, and I was able to do really good with that. And then a couple years later, we relocated up here to Orlando from Miami, and I still have my offices down there. I have my agents down there. I have.
So you have an office down there?
I do, and then I have. I work from home up here in Claremont. So.
Why did you come up here?
My family mostly.
Family.
I take care. My wife is she holds it down for everybody. So. We're really close to her side of the family, the grandkids and all that stuff. So we definitely like to be around Central Florida. And then I opened a brokerage. So now I'm a broker / Coastie retired, and that's
you
what I
work
do.
a lot of, like, you're always, I think people don't realize that you wear a whole bunch of different hats. What was it like going from being a realtor to an actual broker? Did you become a broker because you thought, all right, this is it, this is my millionaire retirement? I think a lot of people sometimes do that.
You wish. Yeah, we don't make any money in the military. I can tell you that. There's not a single veteran that I know out there that's rich unless they did something after they retired, or they got out and they pursued entrepreneurship and they did something outside. But for the most part, I think I miss being away from home because I was always deployed. So I just didn't want to be gone all the time, and I wanted to have roots. My kids were going into high school. The one just graduated from college, so I really wanted to be home. I was tired of being gone all the time. So
working weekends and evenings wasn't that big of a deal because you still were able to come home.
You know, you join the military, they brainwash you first and foremost. They take all your knowledge out from what you know, all your habits, all your good and bad stuff, and then they put in what they want you to do. So most of that was work ethic, integrity, ethics, things like that, devotion, commitment, all of those things that they have to find that right person, and that carries with you. So when you leave service, you have an amazing foundation, and those are the things that allow us to be more successful in business because we have that commitment. We have, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning because all I'm doing is either I'm, responding to clients or I'm looking for how to make it work, and the reason why is because they taught us how to be efficient in the military, how to go without sleep, how to go without time off and enjoy doing stuff for others. To me is more, I get more out of that than anything else.
So hey Audra, we'll say hi to Audra.
Hey,
We're
Audra.
just talking about you.
Love you, Audra.
Although a lot of people, a lot of veterans that transition out have an issue. There's the military way, and then, because like you said, you're trained. I'll say trained. You said brainwashed. I loved it. And then you come out in the civilian world, and it's completely different. There is no order to anything, really. How did you handle that transition? And because we have a lot of vets that watch, a lot of people watch the show later and reach out to me, what advice would you give to a veteran that's transitioning out so that they're not dealing with that stress of trying to figure out what they want to do?
Primarily for me, from what I've seen, is the transition is really tough for some people. They don't do it very well. So there are counseling, there's seminars, there's conferences, there's transition assistance programs for veterans that want to get out and jump into the civilian life, as we like to call it. But also for me, I found a mentor. So I worked with a gentleman by the name of Curtis Bradley. He was amazing. He was a retired chief warrant officer, and there is a life after the military, and it truly is a great life if you want it to be. The military to me was a stepping stone or a foundation to be able to realize what is out here, because you have blinders on when you're active duty and you're deployed and you're serving, you're gone from your family. You have blinders on because all you know is the mission, and that's it. So when you retire or you leave service, take those skills, take those experiences, and then put the ones that are really good to use for you later on in life. So there's a lot of veteran-friendly organizations, a lot of veteran-friendly communities and companies like Home Depot, Lowe's. I saw today, my wife sent me a picture. Lowe's has a veteran parking only. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, I love that.
So
that's really cool.
You really got to look at trying to find those programs that are going to help you. And for me, I jumped into college. I got my bachelor's degree. I got my GI Bill. And I got my bachelor's degree at 40 years old. So
wow.
I decided to, get that in business. And that obviously was part of one of the foundations to help with my business. So there's a lot of programs out there. Meet people, socialize with other veterans, reach out to people like myself, or the VA has some counselors, but primarily find a good mentor that did that transition. For the rest of you guys, sometimes they don't have it as good as others. So, we have some, with the VA, we have some issues with PTSD, wounded warrior. We have a lot of veterans that come back that can't transition like some of the rest. So those programs are there for them too. And that's where we try to give back and do as much as we can for them, and
seek
it's
help,
tough.
right? I mean, find a mentor, which is what you said earlier. Curtis Bradley was your mentor.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier said than done, but I think it's so important for you to search someone out, because I know people that do the groups, the men's groups at the VA, who are veterans. I know that there's availability, but sometimes vets that come out, you know, you're used to being told everything to do, and then when you have to figure out how to do it on your own, it can be it's a challenge sometimes.
You feel you're alone a lot of times.
There's not that camaraderie. There's not that the structure.
We don't have
anymore.
it. No, once you're gone, and you're out, and you know you're out because you feel alone.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part. I remember my very first day, I stepped outside of a house. I lived in Pembroke Pines. I owned a house. I walked out the door. I had a cup of coffee in my hand, and I looked left and right up and down the street, and I didn't know a single neighbor. And I was like, wow, this is profound. So I started just knocking on doors. I'm like, hey, I'm Jeff. I just retired. I'm your neighbor. Nice to meet you. And they're like, hey, yeah, we've seen you around. I'm like, yeah, nice to meet you. You know, so it takes time. It does take time. And then after a while, you realize there's a lot of people like you out there.
Right.
And you attract to those people, or those people attract to you. Right. And that's why, I think part of NAHREP is, it's something bigger than myself. And that's why I kind of say, I have to do something that I can attract to, that like-minded people attract to as well. Some of it is good, and then sometimes it's not, So that's why you don't see me too much around the social circles, because my family is what I love to do. So
I love that.
I want to spend time with the girls. I want to spend time with my wife. And, on occasion, if you do see me out, I got a free pass, So I'm happy to take advantage of it.
All right, so thank you to John and Jennifer for the comments on the jacket. We appreciate you.
Love the jacket.
So
and it's smooth. It's smooth.
It is. It's
nice.
Smooth.
Silky.
I wish I could fit it. You get a pants. This is actually a suit, right? So I'm not 12 anymore. I could not fit into those pants if my life depended on it. So we donated those pants.
Pants are gone.
They've been gone. All right. So you brought up NAHREP. So talk about NAHREP, National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals.
Correct.
Which I didn't know until a year ago or less that I could even be part of, because as tan and Italian as I am,
sexy,
I didn't realize that. So talk about NAHREP, and you talked about how important that was for you. So give them a little background.
I was introduced to NAHREP by some fellow friends of ours, Josh Soto and Linda Guzman, Daisy. My wife and I were invited to a social event kind of thing, and I knew of NAHREP before. I wasn't brought in as quick as I thought I was going to be. So a lot of people said, hey, you got to look into this stuff, and I said, all right, no problem. It's just one more thing on my plate. I was like, sure, no problem. And then I went to one event that they had at Dr. Phillips, and it was amazing. I was like, man, there's a lot of Spanish people here, more than I thought, and then they're all realtors. So I thought that was even cooler.
Right.
And then I ended up meeting Daisy Lopez Cid, who's the national president, and I was really struck by what people were saying, and the theme is the same. It's very humanitarian in a sense where we advocate for home ownership, but if you really know what it takes for those renters out there. I myself never thought I could own a home, and I'm a realtor, and I was showing properties to people that I couldn't even afford, or I didn't think I could afford.
Right.
And then you realize, listen, there's a lot of programs out there. There's a lot of good people out there that truly are not what you hear on TV about the car salesman pitches that most realtors are. These people are amazing professionals. They truly love what they do, and they go day and night helping for home ownership. Achieving home ownership is a huge American dream for us. So if you see somebody with a NAHREP pin like I have on here, really ask them, say, hey, is there anything that I need to know? How do I go about getting a house? Or if I'm tired of renting and my landlord's just kind of jacking up the price, how do I get out of that vicious cycle? Let me tell you, there's a lot of amazing people in NAHREP that know really well what they're doing. And they're professionals, and I trust them all completely with that,
Right.
Because we all have that same desire to help with people moving through that threshold. It's almost like an invisible ceiling. You're never going to get out of renting, and that's what you're always told, kind of thing.
Right.
You want to own a house? Trust me, anyone can own a house, and you just have to talk to the right people. And those people, most of them that I know, are in NAHREP, Central Florida, North Orlando. We just started the North Orlando chapter. I was lucky enough to be chosen to be the president for the North Orlando. Yeah, I'm the guy. So, North Orlando chapter, we're trying to capture, that community up north. Central Florida is amazing. They're strong. they have a huge group of people that love what they do. So try to do one thing today, reach out to a NAHREP member or an affiliate, and let me tell you, there's ways to help people that are looking to achieve that American dream, which is what we all love.
So my experience has been, it's very family oriented.
Yeah.
People really do care about each other. But one of the misconceptions about NAHREP is that you have to be Spanish. I joked about it earlier. You don't have to be Spanish. You don't have to speak Spanish.
No.
The group is very inclusive. It's a great way to promote that dream that Jeff was talking about. But the information, and if you're interested in joining, you don't have to have a Spanish last name or understand the language. They really do embrace you.
Most of us don't speak Spanish, just so you know.
See?
Yeah. So
it's
un poquito, yeah. Dos Equis, that's
Dos
what I say.
Equis, I do baño, por favor. Where's the bathroom?
Okay, we're not going to go there. I like the jacket. Let's go back to the jacket.
Want to go back to the jacket? Have you ever heard of Le Tip? Did I say that right? Jennifer, I don't know about them.
Oh, she got you.
Did she? Oh,
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Listen.
So what we're looking to do is we're going to have an event, an educational event that's coming up. We were scheduled for November. We're trying to work out some details with what's going on there. So once we get it resolved, we'll get it pushed out to everybody. So we'd love to invite everyone and just come up and have a good time. It's going to be at the Heathrow Country Club. They're going to provide lunch. It's going to be an amazing time.
So what kind of education, what can somebody expect at an NAHREP event?
For us, if you're new to real estate, it's important for you to go to classes that are going to help you learn your trade. So, or Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Phillips, there's always some kind of event going on, which is great, but these are actually working professionals that do this day in and day out, and they're going to help you with your business plan. They're going to help you with identifying the industry pitfalls. There's concerns now that the market might be trending in a different direction. So you want to talk to those experts. One of them is Veronica Figueroa. She's on our board.
She popped on and then she popped off.
She is
Tony was on earlier too.
Yeah, she 2018 for NAHREP. She's 2000 Latina Team Award. She they rock. So we're gonna have Jenny Wiemert. She's with the Wiemert Group. We have a gentleman by the name of Aaron Luden. He's a marketing ninja assassin. The guy runs circles around us with marketing. So we have a lot of experts that are going to share their knowledge and experiences with you, and you take from it what you want. So you could learn something. Even if you learn one thing, it's going to help your business, which means you're going to be better for your clients or your customer base, and then you'll be able to provide that to them. So that's what we try to do. We just share the knowledge. It's a mentorship type training. So you learn. And then once you learn something, the more you learn, the more you earn. And that's,
The more you learn, the more you earn. I like that.
That's it.
All right, so talk a little, you mentioned it. There's word out there, I keep hearing it on the streets, that there's a shift in the market. What are you seeing?
What I know is there's a lot of things, not to scare people, but there's a lot of things that are changing. I saw a major national mortgage company close down 100 plus offices. I saw 4 just this week indications, and this is published, of builders being bought out by other builders. The bigger builders are acquiring the smaller builders. So
how does that impact the realtor, and how does that impact the buyers and sellers?
To me, those are indications that those larger companies are trying to gain more market share. If you look at the corporates, like say the Remaxes and the Coldwell Bankers, the Watsons, those companies are concerned. They're putting in millions of dollars into research and developing tools that are going to help realtors combat the onslaught of the Amazons and the open door programs,
right,
and the purple brick programs. Just for the fact that I'm talking about it, I'm bringing it to life. But those companies there are attacking the real estate way of life for the everyday realtor.
Absolutely.
And
you have to pay attention, guys, by the way.
What we're concerned about is you don't want to be left out there by yourself. So if you're left out, and that's the part of the military thing that we love, we do everything together. So we try to bring in everyone together, get everybody on the same page. Hey, these are the things to look out for. The industry's changing. You need to be smart and know why it's changing, but also smarter and know how to avoid not to get left behind, because at some point you're going to have to make a choice. If your business is not being successful, what do I do? Do I go back into the 9-to-5 community?
Right.
Or do I pick a different business? Or do I just say, you know what, this might not be for me at all, and eventually try something different? So you have to be concerned about what's going on. And
you
need
have
to know
to
that.
educate yourself on that. Don't bury your head in the sand about it, because it's out there. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's not going to impact you in one way, shape, or form, which brings me to the consumer. So when you've got the buyers and sellers out there, they're being bombarded, inundated with information from companies like Open Door. And it's changing the structure really of the regular real estate world that we were talking about earlier. Are you seeing any challenges with that with the consumers yet? Or are you hearing about it?
Yeah,
it's a topic.
because,
People message me about it all the time.
Yeah, the interest rates are, hovering right there at 5, 4.9, 4.99. I hear some of my friends are telling me that, we've closed one deal in a month. And I'm like, that's tough. Buyers are out there, and I think their consumer confidence is I think they're on the fence. There's a lot of stuff going on with midterm elections. There's a lot of stuff going on in the media with the uncertainty of what's going on. And I think buyers are kind of like, let me just hold off and wait. Now we got the holidays. So there's a lot of factors, external factors, that impact a buyer's decision or not to move forward with the purchase, especially, purchasing a home. So when those friends of mine tell me, hey, I'm having an issue, I've not closed a deal in 2 months, I'm concerned.
Sure.
They're not putting food on the table for their kids.
Yep.
They're not paying their bills. They're not paying their rents, their mortgages. Those things are of concern to us. So that's why we hold these types of educational events, to say these are the things that are successful for us. We don't want you guys to get left behind.
Absolutely.
So that's why we do what we do at NAHREP.
All right, so service. Let's talk about that just to kind of wrap it up.
Sure.
You obviously have dedicated your life to service. So
Yeah.
you served 20 years in our military, then you went back as a civilian. How does that impact your business? Because I get a lot of questions about, well, Ted, I don't know how to balance it all. How do I balance service to country, if you're not in the military, service to the community? How do I balance it when I want to be philanthropic, but I'm not bringing in the money I want to bring in?
Yeah.
How is that important? I know it's important to you because that's how you live your life. So what kind of advice can you give people that are saying, well, I just don't have time?
That's a time is relative. So there's always time. You have to fight. Each minute is a battle. So the first one for most of us, we know, is getting up in the day. When you choose to start your day, that's your first battle. You win that, then you go from there. My wife looks at me and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I got
5 a.m., brother."
Once my feet are on the ground, then that's when it starts. The
Right.
coffee, the kids, the dogs, everything starts, and then business. And that's where, remember, every minute that you put in the 9 to 5 for the man, whoever that may be, that doesn't go to you. That goes to them. You're making them successful. So if you look at the philosophy or the psychology of every minute I put in for myself or I put in for my family, I'll do that for free all day long. And it's not an effort whatsoever. So it's more of a passion. So my business is successful because my family supports me, because I am supporting them.
All right.
They love me for what I do. They go crazy when I'm like, "Hey guys, guess what? We're able to do something cool this weekend." And it's just, my wife is like, they miss you. They haven't seen you. You're gone all the time, and I miss them. But
Sure.
when it comes to your business, when you're passionate and you give back to your business, one of the things that you have to remember is it's for you, and it's for your family. So when you end up transitioning into one field to another, sleep and time, those things are irrelevant, because you'll do it all day, 24/7 for free. This is what you do. I can't imagine to do this show every time I see you. I'm like, where's he find the time to do that?
You find the time.
You find the time.
You
So,
find the time.
in theory, yes. I think all the time I spent away from my family in the service, now I'm trying to give it back in full. So
But you also give to your community. I mean,
Yeah.
NAHREP, for example, is a volunteer organization.
Yeah.
So I think people don't really value sometimes the volunteer organizations, even if they're professional volunteer organizations you belong to. It's still giving back, and in some way you're impacting the community, you're impacting your world. And I think a lot of people get caught up. I have a lot of friends, I won't tag anybody, but they literally go to work and they come home.
Yeah.
That is the extent of everything they do. They're still great contributors to society. They make a living, they pay their taxes, they raise their children, they're productive members of society, but that's their entire life. That's
Yes.
it. It's point A to point B, and there is nothing outside of that. And so what we try to do on the show is encourage people to get involved. You don't have to have money to get involved.
No.
It's your time, which also has a value to it. But don't think that just because you don't have the money to get involved, it's not going to impact you in some way. If you do, people love your time, and I promise you it's going to impact your life and your business in a huge way.
A lot of things that I see, I'm truly honored to work with a lot of professionals. One of the things that I see is everybody finds something that they love, they're passionate about, and that's what they give to. Whether it's Ida or Norkeys or Maria, all of us at some point give back somehow, some way. So
Yes.
find the one thing that you love to do and pursue that. It might be helping children, homeless shelters, community shelters. We're looking at our event that we're planning. I haven't told anybody yet, but don't be shocked. But one of the things I want to do, I'm talking to Goodwill or Toys for Tots or one of those organizations, because it's the holidays.
Right.
So if we're going to have an event, maybe people could bring an unwrapped toy or something.
Correct.
Let's just see if we can do donations to families that don't have as others do. So we look towards those kind of things. Habitat for Humanity. There's so many things out
You
there.
can
that
find it if you have an interest, if you have something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
You've liked 80 pages of, let's say it's the Pet Alliance, you've liked 80 pages that are veteran driven.
Yeah.
There is something for you, and I just want to encourage you to do a little bit more than like the page. Do something, because I know for a fact, I'm a living example of it, and so is Jeff. You give to your community, give to your world, you're going to get back so much more.
tenfold.
All right, so we're going to share all of Jeff's contact information, how you can get involved in NAHREP, how you can attend the event that they're going to announce coming up. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a realtor to go. You're going to learn a lot from the events that NAHREP puts on. So Jeff, you've been a joy. Give us something, let us know some words of wisdom, or you can just share more information about Jeff if you'd like before we head out.
One of the things that, and some of us love, I love, Broadway, my kids and I, we're into Hamilton now, that's our thing. So one of the things that I hear a lot about is legacy. So what you're doing today, you wanna leave behind for somebody else or for your family. You really have to start doing something that's gonna leave something behind to better someone else. At some point, this where we are today, everything that we're doing today will be left to someone else. So whatever it is that you want to do, find the courage, find the time, find the passion, and do it. Just make the effort. Find the research, network. That's how I've been as successful as I have, because of people like you and everybody that I surround myself with. They're amazing, they're positive, they're just full of energy. But they're smart and they just share. And everybody that I meet, they're just willing to help you.
So true.
And there's nothing, they're not asking for anything in return.
Nope.
So you need to get out of the house and find that drive, find that network and get with those people, whether it's Toastmasters or Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. It doesn't, find that one thing that you really want to do and pursue that. And especially this time of year, there's going to be so many families that don't have.
Yeah, there's so much.
And we need to see if there's something, even if you have, some leftover something. I have a friend of mine, Jenny, she every month, she drives to all the homeless, through all the bridges under the underpasses in Miami. She's a single ground.
She's an angel.
She's raising her grandkids. She's got all this stuff. She drives around once a month feeding homeless under the underpasses, and she cooks all that food herself. She's not even a nonprofit. She does this out of the kindness of her own heart. and the eyes that light up when they see her car pull up.
100%.
So to get a hold of me, my name is Jeffery Reyes. I'm on Twitter, Facebook.
I try to tag you on everything.
Reyes Real Estate. I have amazing agents. Rashonda, I love you. She's my girl. She's a hustler. And I think that if you really know any one of us, then you know all of us. And we love to be here for you guys, no matter what it is. I spend most of my time, I feel like I'm a Dr. Phil sometimes, but I give counsel, I give mentorship, and I do it for free because I know at the end of the day, I can't take it with me. So
Agreed.
I really want you guys to know that if you need anything, reach out to Ted. He knows how to get a hold of me. We're brothers. I love him to death.
I love you too, man. I'm so happy you came on.
You're the best.
We finally did it. We got it. Look how fast it went. And
Took
you didn't.
years. Took me 2 years to get here.
It
It's
did take
okay.
2 years. It's terrible. You didn't say anything.
I didn't know F-bombs?
No
No,
F-bombs.
I'm
I'm
okay.
very
I still got
proud
time.
of you.
I still got 30
Still have
seconds.
time. Yeah. All right. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for being on the show. That was so good.
I love you.
So love you too. And we're gonna. I'll be back around 3:30 with Rodney Bailey. We're gonna wrap up this first week in November, I guess.
Yes.
Can't believe it, November 2nd, and then I'll see you guys next week.
Wish everybody happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right. You get to say Happy Thanksgiving.
And happy
I'll be
Veterans Day
back.
to all my brothers and sisters
That's
out
right.
there. Love you guys.
All right. Thank you for serving. All
Thank
right.
you,
We
Tim.
love you guys. Mwah. See you soon.